Hello and welcome back to Formula 1 2019, and we are with Haas. It is official, there we are in our lovely outfit, holding our lovely yellow and purple helmet, and we can see there's been some other changes as well. So, Lucas Weber has joined Racing Point, Devon Butler has joined Renault, George Russell is with Williams, as in real life, Alexandra Albon with Toro Rosso, and who else came up? Lando Norris with McLaren. So a number of changes. Go into the contract then. As you can see, our contract is worth slightly more than our value. They prefer a showmanship personality, which we're right in the middle at the moment. The R&D tree we'll get into in another episode. We're not going to put any contracts or any improvements, in at this stage. But yeah, we'll look at the R&D in much more detail later on. So we have rivalries as well, and we get lots of points, and we get more contract personalities and preferences if we can beat our rivals. So our main rival to begin is Romain Grosjean, who is our teammate. So we're going to be trying to outperform our teammate, and then we'll pick another rival later on in the series, which will probably be Devon Butler, because he was our rival in F2, and it'll be nice to do it. And this is the overview to see what we get, what we win, and we can keep an eye on it. But let's go into practice number 1. So we dive straight into practice number 1 to try and get to grips with the F1 car for the first time in the series, and we're going for the track acclimatisation course. So you can see this is the end of the Australia circuit. You go right into a tight hairpin around to the left hand side, get on the power as you come through, off it slightly, back onto the power to get the DRS as you come over the line, and up into 5th, up into 6th, up into 7th, and that's the start-finish straight, and you come in, and here we go.
As many corner gates as you can. The faster you get through each corner, the higher the score. You'll need to deploy your DRS in the DRS zone as well. Approaching the DRS zone, watch your MFD for the activation point.
So that's Jeff just letting us know what the track acclimatisation course is as we do the first couple of corners actually really well, hitting purples and greens all over the place. So we get our foot down into the right hand, and now you get a very interesting corner here where you have to lift off slightly. You don't have to, but I do. And you come through into the next corner, dropping down the gears from 6th to 4th. Missed that one, and then we're nearly gone to the grass. Managed to keep it together, get out of the gears, up to 4th, up to 5th. Taking the long, bendy straight around to the right-hand side. Coming to 6th, down to 3rd. Hard right turn. Try and get through the chicane and keep it on level tech as we come through, up against the wall. Go through the time gate there, getting a green score. And it's a pretty decent score so far as we go into 7th. Dropping it down to 6th as you take the corner. A bit too hard on the brakes at that one, but it doesn't affect us too bad as we come through, hit the DRS, and get up a lot of speed coming down the longish straight into the next tight right-hander as you have to drop through the gears. We take that one really wide onto the gravel and look to just keep this going. So we missed that time gate, and for the first time in an F1 car we leave the track. I'm sure it won't be the last though, as we come round the tight left-hander, drop down into 1st, which is one gear too many to drop down to, but it looks like we're going to pass the score. We just need to get 365, which we have. We hit the DRS, we get a final score of 385, but I reckon we can better that, so let's go again for our second lap as we're just going to get out just in front of Hamilton. We turn around and do this first set of corners very well. There's Jeff in the background telling us that we can get a good consistency bonus if we attach good corners together as we come through, dropping the gears 5th all the way down to 2nd for a tight right-hander, on the power up to 3rd, ease off the power slightly and then take it hopefully better than that when we do the actual race as it comes through. This is why we do practice, to master these corners as we come through here. Great pace coming through the sort of straight into another right-hander, into the chicane. We come through, we do that one very well actually, come through up against the wall again, hit a bit in the middle of the road there, which isn't the best line to take. We come down, take the tight right-hander into the second chicane, get on the power far too early and go onto the grass again, and we've just got to learn and understand how the F1 car differs from F2. It's got a bit of a loose back end and it slips around a little bit easy. As into 6th again, we take that corner exceeding the track limits and we go a little bit wide onto the grass, into the wall.
Are you okay? And that was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
Yeah, that was a big one, and that's the end of practice 1. And we retire from practice 1, and there we are, walking back with a visor down, back to the pit lane.
And with all the cars now over the line, let's see our top 3 again. Hamilton, Verstappen and Pierre Gasly.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
Thanks, Claire. A good day.
You had a mishap in practice.
Definitely a good day.
Will this affect qualifying or race day?
I The players will take time, but we just got to resolve the issues. It did feel, it's the back end feels loose, so the downforce will go. No, we didn't. We went with it.
It's been
Get
a
the
lot
car
of hard
right, we'll be in the
work,
points.
but here you are making your debut in Formula 1. You must be thrilled.
So yeah, obviously we're thrilled to be here. It's going to be really, really cool, and the hard work doesn't stop now.
So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in?
It's been very good settling in. They've been here longer than I have, so I'm relying on them a lot.
What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula 1, or do you see something more?
Now, I want points, and Haas have put a lot of faith in me, so we're going to bring them home for them.
Appreciate your time.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top three, who are Leclerc, Perez and Devon Butler. Sadly, it's time to say goodbye as free practice is over. However, we'll be back shortly for more Formula 1 action.
So after practice 2 then, we get the 5th fastest lap. We didn't show any of practice 2, but we'll be showing a bit of practice 3 I think. But yeah, Haas and 2 there, 5th and 6th fastest laps for us and Grosjean, which is very, very nice as we do go into practice 3. So you join us just as we're getting into our flying lap as we take control of the car on the track acclimatisation programme running. No, we're not. So we're on the qualifying place programme as we drop down to 2nd. Just go very slowly through one of the last corners, and as we cross the start finish line, it will be the start of our lap for the qualifying race pace programme. As it's just about to tell you there, qualifying pace programme has started. We have 3 laps of fuel to see how much pace we can get across this track, and it's a good start. We're about 1/10 of a second behind the delta that we need to hit, or the lap time we need to hit, as we take that corner quite well down into 2nd up to 3rd. We'll just ease off the power as we come through this corner and then get on it straight away as we go through the right hander where you have to ease off, otherwise you hit too much of the curve. You go down through the straight up to the 6th but all the way down to 4th to take the chicane. We get that corner done well, hitting the apex of the 2nd turn. We go through down the bendy right hand straight, and then you're going up to another chicane, drop from 7th to 3rd. Take this slightly tighter chicane, go right up against the wall and get your foot down on the power, jump up through the gears, 5th, 6th, into 7th, and then you're going to drop 1 or 2 gears to go down here. We drop 1 into 6th, hit the bollard ever so slightly, cut the apex perfectly, and then go as we get our foot down with DRS open into 7th gear, lining ourselves up for the next corner. Drop down 3 gears into 4th, ease off the accelerator, get your foot down once you're back on, up to 5th if you can, on the brakes, and then accelerate as you come round the corner into the last little stretch of the cornering here in turn. You go around and then get onto the start finish straight with the last bit of DRS zone with your foot down to the floor. It looks like we're going to get the lap time we need and get the pass on the qualifying lap pace, and there we go. We hit the first objective and then we drop down to go to a cooling lap.
Our best lap so far is a 1:29.2.
We're just about ready to kick off today's qualifying here in Melbourne. It's the Australian Grand Prix.
So qualifying starts with a flying lap. 1 shot qualifying is how we roll in this series. None of this 3 stages. We get 1 attempt to set a really good lap. And we'll have to see how we go as we take the first chicane really well. There goes Bottas's Ghost in front of us. So that is the fastest lap that is going to be done in qualifying. You'll see that car change every so often as we do the big right hander really tight, dropping down into 2nd. We actually lose a bit of speed with too much braking, but we come through, take the next set of corners quite well, get the foot on the gas, go through, open up, ease off, then back on as you come through the corner, taking right up against the curve if you can, drop down the gears into 3rd to take the next chicane. Nearly lose the back end but keep it on track, and we're doing okay. I mean, the Mercedes is a very quick car. You're expecting Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull to finish above, certainly above the Haas in this qualifying pace, and it is our first race as well, so you've got to remember that. We've had 2.5 practice sessions to master the track, with the first practice session ending very prematurely as we put it into the wall on that area there. We take these corners well, 6th, we cut across that and not get given a penalty. Didn't invalidate the lap, and look at us catch Bottas as we're keeping that pace through hitting the apex as we come down 8th all the way down into 4th gear, take the tight right hander that caused me so many problems in practice. We go down again a long right hander. We're actually in front of Bottas at this point. Can we get pole position as we drop down into the slow corner? We're not. He's going to nick in front of us then and actually get a lot more pace than us as we go across the final corner. Can we get into the top 3 or 4 I don't know if we will. We open up the tank and we set a good time. Is it enough?
We're very happy with that position. Well done.
So Jeff is happy. We get 7th in our first qualifying position in our first one stop.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Bottas, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So as you can see, Lucas Weber just behind us, 0.3 of a second slower. We are 1/10 of a second slower than Sebastian Vettel. Roman Grosjean all the way down in 13th, and Kvyat and Albon hoisting up everybody else, but it's not looking best. I don't know where Devon Butler is. He got 10th in the Renault.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
I bloody well am, Claire. It was a great qualifying.
It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race?
I mean, that's the plan. We're going to keep it on and you'll see something special.
Are you hoping to have your reliability issues sorted out before qualifying?
We're working as fast as we can. There wasn't too many issues, but I've got to give an answer, and that pissed off Haas.
Appreciate your time.
That's all right, Claire. No worries. So as we see how we compared against Grosjean, we obviously completed qualifying, as did he, but we got the better position, so we get some points. And the resource points wise, we have valid lap was completed, we didn't have any disciplinary records, we completed the session, and we did better than the car performance, and our total points for investment is 2,145. Our Haas reputation drops because of the interview that I gave, but it does go up as a veteran, and we are moving towards showmanship.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
Thanks for that, Emma. As Jeff is telling us about pre-race, let's get into it.
New drivers, new cars, it's a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that plays host to round 1 of a 21-race championship that takes us from here in Australia, across the globe, and the eventual season finale at the Yas Island circuit in Abu Dhabi. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year, with tweaks to the regulations, a fresh-looking spread of tyre compounds, and of course some changes to the roster of car manufacturers. It's goodbye to Sauber and hello once again to the classic name of Alfa Romeo in Formula One. It's also goodbye to Force India. They've been rebranded as Racing Point. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2019 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 5th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the performance of Red Bull, who have switched to the Honda power unit this year. What that will mean for both their performance and reliability remains to be seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly, and Vettel, Wang, Weber, Ricciardo, and Devon Butler, Perez, Norris, Roman Grosjean, and Sainz, Russell, Kubica, Kimi Raikkonen, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Albon and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Excellent job yesterday. We qualified above expectations. Let's go out there and put in a performance.
So we are looking to do, as Jeff said, put in a good performance. Great qualifying as we go to 5 red lights. And out they go. And there we are. We get a bit of a bad start. I think it's Danny Ricciardo right behind us, right on our tail straight away. As we go down, we're on the right-hand side of the screen there. Just forced a little bit while we're coming. There's contact with Ricciardo. There's 3 wide going into the first chicane. As the 2 silver arrows of the Mercedes lead the way. And we're in a battle with Danny Ricciardo already. As we just get our nose in front, we come through. It's touching again. 3 wide again. We hit Vettel and get a warning for that one, as here we go. We try to sneak in behind Vettel, But Danny Ricciardo now ends in front of us as we come round the corners. Trains everywhere, battling going on for these early positions. And it looks like we've settled in behind Ricciardo. And we're going to have to see how the race unfolds, as this first lap is going at a full-out pace at the moment. As we see, well, we're chasing Danny Ricciardo as we go into the chicane in third gear, coming down foot to the floor. And Ricciardo gets away from us as we don't get the best traction out of that corner. We come through round the long left hand. We're going to drop one gear. Now we knew this is where we could pick the pace on Bottas, but we actually go through that corner pretty correctly. Probably a bit worried about getting warnings in the actual race, as we are catching Ricciardo. It looks like we might have slightly better pace than him in the straights, but his corners and downforce is going to really help him out and help to get away from us as we cut across the grass that time and come in to complete the first lap of the Australian Grand Prix, sitting in 8th. So we've lost one position from our qualifying spot. Ricciardo really making that fast start off the line count, as Lewis Hamilton obviously sets the fastest time, leading from the front. And look at Ricciardo go into the distance. He's got the slipstream, and there's going to be Lucas Weber, our rival from F2, trying to get the inside track. We just about force him out and keep on the racing line and get in front of him again. And this is going to be a battle all season long. Maybe I was wrong to say we'd have Devon Butler as our rival. We'd actually go for Lucas Weber as we cut him off, trying to get into this corner. We go down, just right over the bump and the next one. And Ricciardo is slowly pulling away from us, and we really need to go and catch him. He definitely has the speed through the corners, whilst we've got the speed on the straight line, but every time we go into a corner it's really slowing us down, it seems. As we go now, we're trying to increase the fuel mix, do we? I think we just leave it as it is, as it's only the second lap and we need to manage it. We go through the chicane as we ride on board with a shoulder cam for not very long. We come into the long straight, long bending left round. Long bending left straight, I was going to say. That doesn't make any sense. As we go through the really high speed corners you can take, and we keep our grip really well, taking that corner. Still trying to hunt down Ricciardo as he stays in front of us, and I think he is battling with Pierre Gasly in front of him. And then there could be the double Red Bulls in front. It could be Gasly and Verstappen. And you would think Ricciardo would struggle to keep up with them with pace. You'd think the Red Bulls would be slightly better, but it looks actually... I think it actually goes the two Mercedes, Ferrari Red Bull, Ricciardo, and then us, as we set a new personal best lap, I think, for us on that one in the second lap, or the third lap, starts now.
DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
So DRS is open, but we are nowhere near in sight of a second of Danny Ricciardo at the moment. And Devon Butler has jumped up into 9th position as we rejoin on lap 5, and you can see Ricciardo and Verstappen. Something obviously happened to Verstappen. He's been overtaken by Pierre Gasly, and Ricciardo, we'd actually just touched him on that previous corner, but we have caught them up as their battling has really slowed them down, so it does give us a chance. Can we get ourselves into 6th position? That would be quite impressive in these early stages, and we do get DRS on the back of Ricciardo, but we jump later on
the speed limit. Will be penalised if we exceed it.
to lap 6, where we're going to pit, and we've gone for an undercut strategy, so we're going to pit a lot earlier than everybody else and see if it can make them. So we go for a dive on Verstappen, and he just keeps his line in. We get a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, solid racing, but Verstappen keeps his spot, but Ricciardo has got past him. And we come through here. We'll be diving into the pits after this corner. We're going for an early change onto the medium tyres. As we dive in there, can we get a good speedy change? You see all the cars going past. Now an early pit stop will mean that we come out probably at the back of the race, quite far away from everybody else. But an early stop allows us to gain the advantage and stay out, whilst others come in and maybe get some pit congestion. As you can see, we're coming out very, very slowly. It sounds like a completely empty track that's we're gonna join, and that's good for us. We get clean air all the way through, which means
see these tyres through to the end now.
Which means we can keep going and catch others up all the way to the end of the race and just really go for it in every single lap. As we come through, we get DRS because we went into the pits. You automatically get the DRS when you come out into the zone. And you take this tyre hand corner, and you see our tyres having a lot more grip, so I'm braking too hard as we go into some of the corners and not giving us the best of exits. And we find ourselves in 20th position, but as I said, that early pit stop should play into our hands and give us quite a good advantage above some other people as we take the corners reasonably well, and it's probably going to be quite boring for the next couple of laps as we're only on lap 7 of 15. I do a 25% Grand Prix. There's no way I could do every single lap. I'd be here for absolutely hours doing all the practice, all the qualifying, and then all the laps of the Grand Prix. So we're going with 25% Grand Prix at the moment as we come into the very quick left and right handers that you can take. And you can see there on the new tyres we set a purple sector 2, which means it's our quickest sector we've done, which is very, very nice as we come into the tight right hander in 4th gear, which is nice. We take it quite well up to 5th. We keep in 5th as we get our foot down on good levels, and then go around into the corners. Kubica and Albon switch places in 18th and 19th, and they're technically the people we are chasing as we go down the pit straight. This is a nice little view. We have a little look over to see who's coming out of the pits, and we're going to be up against Ricciardo and Verstappen, and we cut in front of Verstappen and just about miss his front wing to get that place. That was a risky manoeuvre, but we make it pay, and we get in front of Ricciardo and Verstappen by undercutting them in the pits. And if we can hold this position, this could be very, very nice for Team Haas. We take that corner very, very oversteer and steer too much into it as we come round. We're eased off there a little bit, and we're actually getting away from Verstappen, it looks like, at the moment, as we go through into one of the long straights. We join it here on lap 9 now. We join it at lap 9 with we're chasing down Giovinazzi. We have Gasly behind us. I don't think they've pitted yet, which means they're going to be in for the pit soon, all these people around us, and we'll have to see. I don't know what happened with Verstappen and Ricciardo. It may have been Gasly and Butler also going for an early stop. But we go through the train here, and the course is here. We're going to try and catch that train in front of us. And you just see them going around the corner in front, so we're really not too far off. We just go into the chicane, go across it, get up to speed, get that foot down, going through the gears as we go. We set a green sector 1. Can we set a green or a purple sector 2? That would be very nice indeed as we hit the long straight that goes into a long left-hand bend. So you can get your foot down, do all this through here. We're going to maybe increase our fuel mix.
Target is +1. Faster engine modes are available.
And that's Jeff letting us know we can up the fuel mix if we want to, and that's what we're going to do as we go into this area. And you'll see we are catching that train of cars in front of us with Giovinazzi at the base of it. Just seeing him go around the corner in front. Can we catch them before they go into the pits to grab some DRS? Are they going to go into the pits? As we're still sitting in 8th place at the moment. I didn't see if Giovinazzi went in or not, but we haven't caught him. It looks like he has gone into the pits because there's a completely free track in front of us right now. We join on the 14th lap of 15th. We're up into 5th place after overtaking everyone that pitted. We really cut that corner and get away with not getting a warning there. And Vettel is in front of us. Lucas Weber is behind us, but the gap is 5 seconds behind us, so we really should be safe now as we come through on this turn round into 5th gear, and we're going to be entering the final lap of the Grand Prix as we have a little lag freeze there, and it really plays up on the screen. As you can see, we take that off. Is it going to allow Lucas Weber to catch us up? I don't think it is as we come down the home start straight. That's not the right words, Dave. And this commentary will get better as I continue. And oh my word, we go right off the track there. A terrible mistake to make on the final lap. And Lucas Weber surely is catching us up now. There he is. And he really is putting the pressure on us. And look how much time that's given away. We had a 5-second gap to the Racing Point car. And now he is right up our gearbox and right on our tail. Drama in the final lap of the Australian Grand Prix. As we come round the bends, we're taking it. We're trying to get that pace back into the car. We are on the medium tyres and have been out longer, so Weber will have the pace on us with tyre and the better grip as well. And this could prove troublesome because we're also not going to have DRS. There's no cars in front of us to allow us to get DRS. So we've got to manage this race and defend really well. And Weber comes forward. He's gaining on us every single inch of the track, and we really need to make sure we manage this. So come down, there he is, really close through the high speed corners, the left and the right turn, and we keep the pace going through it. And we've just got to make sure we fend off the Racing Point car. He's got his DRS open. He is gaining. Can we hold him off until the right-hand bend? It looks like we have. We take that as a good corner. We've got another right-handed bend here. We cut on the apex, get a really good exit, and that should see us through. If we take this corner as we come down into the penultimate corner, take it well, we're going to be racing into the final checkered flag, and we've kept off Webber after that mistake in the first corner, or corner number 1. After the lap, on the last lap, and that was
That's the end of the race.
far
We'll
too
see you in
dramatic.
Parc Fermé.
But we get a 5th place finish, which is unbelievable. Starting 7th on the grid, we go up 2 places.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So let's review the updated driver standings. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
My driver of the day has to be, no question, Antonio Giovinazzi. Such an assured drive from one of the sport's newer stars, and a performance he can be very, very proud of.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
So a really good race, all over a good weekend. It started quite badly with a crash in practice 1, but look how far we finished ahead of our rival Romain Grosjean down there in 14th. Really didn't have a good time, and Kvyat and Albon didn't impress. George Russell did well in the Williams, as did Kubica, but Lewis Hamilton wins it.
Performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
There wasn't much between you and Lucas by the finish today.
God, no, there really wasn't, because of my mess up in the last corner on the penultimate lap, but he's got a good car and a team behind him.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
It's not really a secret. A great team and a good car.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
No, I was crashing into people all sorts of places, but they were attracted to me.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
I don't think you had enough downforce. Like I said, that's something we need to work on.
Appreciate your time.
So again, the rivalry breakdown. We get lots of wins on Grosjean. So yeah, up 6-3 in the rivalry. And resource points, again, we get a decent-ish disciplinary record. Race position was good, a clean lap, 100%. Season participation and race bonus. So again, more points to spend on R&D, which we'll go into at the beginning of the next Grand Prix. And our reputation with Haas goes up quite considerably.
Excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one. You're not the only driver to be hounded by the press. Emails, like the one I've just sent you, will give you an insight on how your former Formula 2 rivals are handling the press. Be sure to check your emails regularly, as I'll be sure to send you any of the more, let's say, interesting press transcripts that come my way. Looks like one of your rivals is also going to an upcoming historical event. If you choose to take him on, it might help get your name out there a bit.
So I will be avoiding the historical events and the extra events just because I don't think they're worth it. But we do have some news from Emma about other rivals that we mentioned here. So as you can see there, Lucas Weber having a chat about us to the press. And yeah, we did well, he did well. Very good day around. We'll be back for the next Grand Prix. We'll see you then. Cheers.